Hey everybody, how you doing? Whoa, I'm falling over. This is about to be a really fun video. Today's video, we're doing an oil change on this Suburban. This is a 2017 Chevy Suburban with a 5.3 liter. This Suburban is the Premier or the LTZ. It's got this little sport front lip, which I absolutely do not like on these. It makes it sit lower to the ground. You don't get an SUV to sit low, you want it to sit high. Anyways, just to get under this thing, I had to get out the ramp, so keep that in mind. If it's a Premier or LTZ, they sit a little bit lower. Anyways, this has the 5.3 liter motor, holds 8 quarts of oil. Super easy to change the oil. I'm gonna show you everything you need. Let's get right to it, and I'm gonna show you the oil and the filter and the tools that I'm gonna use. Make it super easy for you. These days, the roll through oil change places are charging $120, $130, some even $140 for these 5.3 liter oil changes. They hold 8 quarts of oil. I don't know if I said that already, but you do it yourself. Even with the good oil, it's gonna cost you half of that and only 10, 15 minutes of your time. It's definitely worth it. Let's check it out and see what we're gonna use here. All right, so definitely check up your model year, but a lot of the years are the same for these 5.3 Chevy V8s. But for this one, the book calls for 0W20 synthetic. So we have got the royal purple synthetic. You can substitute your favorite brand. These days, the good oil is almost the same price as the bargain brand, O'Reilly's brand, AutoZone brand, whatever. I'll show you the receipt here in a second. I got the K&N HP 2012. I like these. They're a little bit more expensive, but I like these because you can get a wrench on them. If the thing gets too tight for whatever reason, you can get a wrench on it. Back in the day, we used to ram screwdrivers through the side of them and make a big mess when they got too tight. Well, I'd rather spend an extra $5 and have that there just in case I need it, not cause hassle or even damage to the vehicle. But let me show you the receipt real quick. So that oil filter at O'Reilly's was $16.99. That oil, I'm actually doing a different oil change too, but that oil right here is $39.95 for 5 quarts. So for 8 quarts, that'd be what, 50 some beans. So 50 plus, call that 15, $65 roughly, depending on the oil that you get. You can change the oil in these 5.3s with the good royal purple and the good filters. Now you can do it with cheaper oil and a cheaper filter for $50 or even a little bit less, but for what I'm doing here today, $65 or so. Also, the oil drain plug, we'll double check here in a second, but it should work with this 15 millimeter. That's pretty common on these Chevys, but let's crawl up underneath it, start draining some oil here. Ooh, look under the hood of this Suburban. Still has the original cap, so it even tells you if you don't know what oil to get. A lot of them actually say it on the oil cap there, OW20. So before we drain it, I'm gonna go ahead and pop the cap on that. You don't have to do it, but it's gonna let that oil flow out even faster underneath. So let's go pull the drain plug. All right, we're looking at the sky and we're crawling under the front bumper. You can also get at it from the side, but this is the way I'm doing it here today. Got my apprentice with me and I'm gonna be showing him how to do it. So these Chevys is real easy. There's your oil filter right there. The blue, ours is gonna be white. Here's that K&N I showed you just a second ago. And there is your oil drain plug. I got the 15 millimeter out. Yep, it fits. We don't want to tighten it, we want to loosen it. So I've got my drain bucket here and we're going to drain some oil out of here. So let me get the camera situated and I'm going to get my apprentice to start cranking on this. Hold on a second. All right, so we got that 15 millimeter up on there, and now let me loosen it a little bit for you. Lefty loosey. And see, that's another reason you don't take things to the drive-through. The lady that drove this Last time she took it to one of those Valvoline jobs, and I can't even get this broke loose here. So give me a minute. I might have to go get a breaker bar or something. All right, now, so that definitely was way too tight. I had to put all my Oogie Boogies to break that loose. So now, Mr. Apprentice Man, can you start untwisting that bolt oil drain plug for me? Yep, there you go. A little bit at a time until you start seeing some oil come out. Then I'll help you a little bit. Keep twisting it. Quick. Get some oil on you? Haha, okay. Let me finish it up here. Actually, let me get my hand around this way. And watch now, the oil's gonna start pouring out, but it's a good thing for everyone to learn here. If you put upwards pressure as you're unscrewing it, you won't get as much of a mess on you. And then oh, come on, there we go. Ew. See that oil coming out now? I only got a little bit on my hands, but this one was actually overdue about 2,000 miles, so we're gonna let that dry. I'm gonna wipe my hands off, then we're gonna take that blue filter out and replace it with our white one. All right, now of course it's raining outside, so that's how things go when you got time to do things. Everything just messes up on you. But see, that's still dripping a little bit. So now, judging off of how tight that was, I'm gonna go ahead and say that this is crazy tight. Yep. Man, I tell you what, I'd like to slap that dude silly who did this last oil change, but they overcharged you double, and then I'm gonna have to get some kind of a wrench on this just to get this loose. It shouldn't be that tight. All right, so here's where we're at. I even tried one of these jar grabber things, and I ended up, I'm pretty sure I just ripped a tendon in my thumb twisting on that as hard as I can. So dang-a-lang at the oil change place, put 1,000 foot-pounds of torque on this thing, and I also don't have an oil filter wrench because I never used those, so we're gonna have to go old school and just jab it with a screwdriver. All right, now so my apprentice is doing the filming. You can see I knocked a screwdriver through there now. Now if this doesn't take it off, I'm gonna be real mad, because that means they went real crazy with the Oogie Boogies if I can't even knock it off with a screwdriver untwisting it. If I gotta go buy an oil filter wrench, oh, that's gonna make me mad. My goodness, come on. Wow. Valvoline drive-through service is no good, people. I'm telling you, this is ridiculous. All right, so screwdriver trick kind of worked. I had to really beat on it. Now my hands are hurting so bad from having to do that. Well, I still can't get it off with my hands. Man, I about had it with Valvoline drive-through oil changes. On top of that, it's pouring down rain. Let's see if I can get it with this rubber grabber now. Nope, I'm gonna have to beat another hole in this side of it, so I'll be right back. Now, I've beat this with the screwdriver, and because of that, I've sliced the dickens out of my thumb on these sharp edges. But now I can actually twist it with my hand. So Valvoline, come on, man. Because of you, I sliced my hand today, and I should already be out of this rain, but now we're getting poured on out here. So now, normally I'd put this in the box of the oil filter we just took out, but I left that in the garage, so I'm gonna drop that in the pan. Now, what we got to do is grab this new oil filter, Shazam, and we're gonna lap some of this oil around that rubber seal. If I didn't do that, I'd have 1,000 people in the comments saying, "Oh, my pappy told me to put some oil on the rubber there, you know." And then, watch this. Valvoline, watch this. Don't cross your threads on there now, guys. We're gonna zip that up there until it stops. Now I'm all kind of got oily hands and everything, so I'm gonna wipe my hands off just a tad. Valvoline, y'all are even getting oil all over my driveway, Valvoline, because I had to do this all ghetto like. So I got my rubber gripper, and I'm going about half past what I could do with just my bare hands. And then we're also going to take that drain plug and put it back, make sure not to cross thread it. Hand tighten it all the way up. I bet you Valvoline didn't do this. My goodness, I pulled a muscle in my hand trying to get that thing out. Now we're going to take my wrench back with that 15mm socket. We're not going to zingy it with the air tools or nothing, or the impact. And we're just going to give it like 1/8 of a turn more than what I could get it hand tightened. And we're going to clean up things and make it pretty and everything, so we're not unnecessarily making this dirty under here, or leave a bunch of oil that would pick up a bunch of dirt, especially on this car. It's a nicer, newer car for these people. What's left, we just need to fill it up with some oil, so I'll meet y'all up top. Alright, now it quit raining and I'm back out here. So we drained the oil, put the plug back in, the oil drain plug, put the new filter on, did all that in the rain. Now we're about to put oil in. Now the book calls for 8 quarts on this. It'll probably take at least 7. We took the filter off and drained all the oil. It might take almost 8. So this is a 5 quart, and then I've got another one of these. If you just were to get one of these big jugs and then 3 of the 1 quarts, it would cost the same as 2 5 quarts. So it's pretty much always best just to get the 5 quarts and then save what you don't need for the next time. But yeah, I promise you I'm not normally that grumpy, but it's kind of like when you're in a hurry and you're trying to get to work or to an appointment. It should have took 5 minutes and it took 45 minutes, and you sprained your thumb and sliced your hand open in the process. I was supposed to change the oil in 3 of these vehicles today, and now I only had time to do 1 because I'm in a big hurry. Got to run and go do some more stuff. But I'm going to pour this whole jug in there, 5, check the level, and then put more in from there. So here we go. Pour the 5 in here real slow like. It's that royal purple. It's actually purple. I don't know how well y'all can see that, but it is purple. Again, this called for the 0W20 synthetic. And all my older cars and stuff, I always just ran the cheapest store brand, O'Reilly's, AutoZone, whatever. But the older I get, and especially on these newer vehicles, I actually put in them what they say to put in them. It's not worth it to blow up your motor or wear your motor down to save $5–10. In the end, it'll cost you thousands of dollars. But I'm gonna keep filling this oil up until it's all the way full. Now you can see here where I'm putting the oil in. The oil dipstick is actually on this same side here to check the oil level. So I put the 5 quarts in there. Let's take it out, wipe it. Look at that square leg corkscrew dipstick there. But we'll see where it's sitting now after I just put the 5 quart jug in there. It's not even, I take that back, it's barely touching the bottom. So I'm gonna go ahead and put about 2 more quarts in there. And we'll check it again, be back. Alright, so there's a good 7 quarts of this royal purple in here. Let's check the dipstick. And wipe it off and check it again here. That calls for 8 quarts, but a lot of times you're never going to drain completely all the oil out of it, so always good to check it before you just go pouring everything in there. So that's actually right up where it needs to be there. So we're going to put the oil cap on there and crank the motor up, let it do its thing for a minute, and then check it one more time. And if it needs to be checked or needs a little bit more dab in there, I'll do that. But hey, appreciate y'all watching this episode of WHOTEEWHO'S Garage. I always recommend, if you got the time, change your own oil. Promise you I'm not too grumpy, but that I know this person took this to one of those Valvoline drive-thrus last time, and it made this simple 5-minute oil change take me a good 45 minutes. Oil change is not supposed to be that hard, just little whoop 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 whoop, blah, 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 fill it back up with oil. But you guys saw me really having to boogie down on it to uncrank that stuff, and I'm 1000% sure I pulled something in my hand, but that's what happens when I get in a hurry. But hey, appreciate y'all watching. Put down in the comments down below any horror stories from you getting your oil changed. Actually, this is a newer car and it has one of those oil change resets. Let me show you how to do that on this car. Here's your start right here, right? Got the fancy diamonds over there, fake diamonds. We're gonna start it up and we'll see what it says on the screen. Hood's up, rain sense on, okay, blah blah blah. Hood's open, yeah, I know that. Change engine oil soon. So now here's what we're gonna do to get that off of here. Sorry for some of the glare, but I'm gonna dismiss that with the check. What's it say now? Change engine oil soon. Yeah, I know, I just said okay. Okay, now it's just got the radio. So what I'm gonna do, toggling on the up here, up. Nah, I don't wanna be talking about the radio. Just kidding. Hold on, let me be right back. All right, so I got back to the screen I was trying to be at. So somehow the display was boogered up. So using this, I'm gonna toggle up. Oh, there's a Lego movie playing on there. I'm gonna toggle up. You got your tire pressure. There it says remaining oil life. So all I'm gonna do is hold down this plus sign and that should reset it to 100%. Hold it down, that's 3, 4. That took like 5 seconds of holding that, and you see now it says remaining oil life 100%. So that's how you do it. Piece of cake on these Chevys once you get to the oil life screen. So now she's running. Temperature's coming up. How's my RPMs looking on this bad boy? Yeah, that's what it should be. No shaking, nothing weird. I'm just gonna check that oil level one more time before I finish this job up. Yeah, baby. This 2017 Suburban is ready to party for another 3,000 miles. Make sure you do your regular maintenance on your vehicles. Make sure you subscribe to WHOTEEWHO'S Garage. We'll see you guys on the next one. Hooty hoo!